It's Louisville, Kentucky. It's the 42nd annual Street Rod Nationals. For a street rodder, it does not get any better than this. I'm Mark Thompson, here with Melissa Haas to see the best of the best.
That's right, and over the next couple of hours, we're going to show you the best of the NSRA with all the street rods and all the fun. It's the largest automotive participant event in the world.
Plus, we've got late models.
Yes, now we have the late models, so we'll show you the best street rods and the late models.
And
we're going to have a couple of guests coming your way to add a different look to this year's Street Rod Nationals.
Hi, I'm Jack Miller. This is a 1923 Ford TBucket.
TBucket. So what kind of interior we got in here that we're looking at sitting in?
It's pretty much stock, just a little bit of leather, a little bit of carpet. You know, nothing real fancy. Just a driver.
Is this particularly one of your favorite kinds of cars? Is that why you own it?
Well, actually, a long time ago, before I even learned to drive, I bought plans to build one of these. And about 15 years ago, I finally started building one.
Right.
So I've wanted one of these for a real long time.
That is amazing. Well, it is beautiful. And I know you guys come here every year. You love the Street Rod Nationals. Tell me, what is it that stands out to you here at this event?
Oh, it's just all the people, all the cars. You can see anything you want. If you're looking for a car, you can find one. So you can see just about any type of car here.
That's great. And what makes your car stand out from the rest here?
It's mine. It's the best one here.
Exactly. We're over here with the Okolona Street Rod guys. We're over at Camaro Row, pretty much. I've got Dwight here. He's going to tell us a little bit about his Camaro. Dwight?
This is a 1969 Camaro, and it's been a lifelong project, or last 10-year project. This is the Corvette that I never did get. I have a street rod also, but this is my late model addition to the family.
Oh, great! Yeah, we noticed you have some Corvette wheels on this car. Why did you decide to do that?
Well, when I was going to turn 50, I was going to get a Corvette. And 50 came and went, and the Corvette never did come. So this is my Corvette.
Well, it is beautiful. Tell us a little bit about that engine.
This is an '89 Corvette drivetrain, or motor and transmission, in a '69 Camaro.
How's the interior in there?
It's original.
Original interior.
Yes.
Well, so why Camaro? Why do you love the Camaro so much?
I grew up with the Chevelle in the '60s. That was my college car, and I wanted to do a little something different for this time around. So the Camaro was the car that I did not get in college.
Oh, okay.
We all want the car that your dad didn't let you get when you turned 16. So this is the car that I did not get when I turned 16.
She is beautiful.
We're here with Tony Vestuto and his 55 Chevy. Tony, tell me a little bit about your car.
It's a 55 Chevy. I was trying to capture the street freak look from the 70s. It's got custom paint, big block Chevy, 871 Dyers blower. It's a nice street driver.
What kind of motor have you got in it?
454. I tried to hide all the air conditioning so I could keep the air of the look. All the front subs, suspension is chromed. I've been to the show plenty of times. This is the first time I ever bought a car.
Great. So you drive this pretty regularly?
Yes, I do.
It looks great. Tell me a little bit about some of the custom work you've done on it.
It's got custom paint, subframe, 12-bolt rear end. I try to keep the stock appearing interior. It's got I did it steering column, air condition, aftermarket stereo in it.
Well, it is a looker. I mean, it's definitely an eye catcher, no doubt about it.
Thank you.
Talk to me just a little bit about the Street Rod Nationals.
Well, it's a great event. I've been coming for many years. I think the first one I attended was 1985 in Minneapolis, St. Paul. Drove 35 Chevrolet all the way up there and all the way back,
And been coming ever since.
basically.
All right.
Yeah.
Larry, tell me about your perspective.
If you're a car person and you're not here, you're lost. This is a wonderful place to be.
This is an awesome event. Good times, good cars, good weather. What else can you have?
Good food.
We have Pugly Transportation here. Now tell me the story behind the Pugly.
Well, when we started the truck, some people would say, well, that's a pug nose. And then some other people said, well, that's just plain ugly. And so obviously, yeah, the combination of Pugly and ugly is, here we are with our Pugly. And a lot of times we'll come out. In fact, we were in a gas station it was in Oklahoma. And this gal, she says, "Are you with Pugly?" And I go, "Yes, ma'am, I am." So, yeah, we just, the truck allows us to come along, I think, is what it is now. It's a 41 Ford cab over engine. It uses an 85 GM P30 chassis. And we had a 02 5.9 Cummins in it. We have our Harley on the back, and we also take and tow a 34-foot fifth wheel with it. We started, actually I've got some pictures of it, but it was some really trashy looking bodies. We had started with two bodies. One had good sheet metal, the other one had great interior in it. So between the two, we could take and make one.
Right, and you just did the paint yourself.
Yes, we did. We took and we've never done body and paint. We've never built a truck before. And so Kathy and I worked on this thing in our garage for a whole lot of time. And she said, "You're going to do the paint." I said, "I am." And she said, "Yeah." So she took me down to the paint store. They were real nice. We didn't even know how to mix up Bondo before this. And so as you can see, it come out okay. We're happy. We're real happy.
I think it turned out really nice.
Thank you.
We're here in the exhibit hall with one of our special guests, Stacey Davids of Stacey Davids Gears. Stacey, man, thanks for joining us. Great to see you.
It's great to be here again.
This is a beautiful car we have here. Tell me a little bit about the Cherry Bomb.
Well, the idea behind this is that they wanted to do kind of a modern 70s car. Now, if you notice, it's lower down, it's got the big side pipes on it, and they did it in the two-tone color, but they kind of wanted a 70s look out of it with the slotted mags and everything, which was a different approach, because that's when Cherry Bomb was really big, was in the early 70s. And the big thing on this car is the blown LS engine. To my knowledge, this is the only streetable blown LS engine that's out there. And they had some glitches that they had to run through to get it to run right, but this thing is about 800 horsepower. And of course, it's got the stick behind it, and if you'll notice, it's got like the houndstooth interior. but it's modern, you know, so it was a really unique approach. This approach was a little different, and we're trying to get people to think into different eras. You know, if you liked an 80s car, let's take an 80s look, a pro street look, but make it modern, make it handle. Let's take a 70s style, but make it handle. Let's take a 60s style and make it a drag racer or whatever. So that was kind of the idea behind this.
Looking at this 34 Ford, Stacy.
Wow.
Tell me about this.
This is a prime example of some of the stuff that you'll see at the Street Rod Nats. I mean, a 34 pickup at one time in its life. But as you can see, it's got a 572 Hemi with an 871 blower on it. You can see the pipes there. There's what you see running out of there is the real deal. There's no exhaust running underneath, so you can imagine how loud it's going to be.
Yeah.
It's right at 1,000 horsepower. But the thing that's interesting, you got a piece of jewelry as the engine. But let's go back, you know, look at the metal work here. Look at how the fenders are blended into the body and into the bed. Look at how the running boards and everything are all smoothed in. That's way beyond what you'd normally see. They left this open because they're showing off the independent rear suspension. But if you'll notice, as you go down, the running boards are all blended in. Everything is completely one piece. And the thing is, I mean, you see the smooth lines in here, all kinds of grinding, all kinds of work that went to something like that. It's really easy to overlook. Now, on top of that, it's a candy paint job, which means it's a 3-stage. It's over the top of a pearl or a silver or a gold. And to get that and not get it splotchy is almost impossible.
They've done a great job with it.
Somebody's done a fantastic job with this thing. I just want to drive this thing. I mean, can you imagine?
Who's got the keys?
Yeah. We'll snap those half shafts probably pretty quick.
All right, we're here with Stacy David and Jack O'Rell and the Wine Wagon. Jack, this is your wine wagon. Tell me a little bit about it.
Well, it was originally designed in 1968 by Ed Newt, and I picked it up about 2 years ago, 2009, what was left of a carcass, and restored it in 90 days.
It was out in the field or something, wasn't it?
It was actually out in the field. I believe it was in Arizona or New Mexico, but Jay Orberg had picked it up and carried it to California, where I actually picked it up.
You know, the thing that I love about these kind of cars is that's part of hot rodding to me. That whole crazy car, you know, you had the toilet cars and you had the Boot Hill Express and, you know, the little coffin and stuff. It's like, what got you into something like this, man?
Well, you're exactly right. The Hot Wheels obviously gives you the whole motivation. Who wouldn't want a show rod? But the thing was, who can afford a show rod? And I saw the opportunity with this one, what was left of it as a carcass, for my chance to get in and grab it and restore it. And it's a piece of history, and it's fun. And that's what everybody's come around here taking a look at it. I'm going, what do you like about it, or what don't you like about it? And I've not heard a negative comment. From a 5-year-old to an 80-year-old, they all just think it's the coolest thing.
Look at the expressions of these people. You know, they're just checking this. I mean, I saw it from clear over there. I was like, yeah, the barrel's on there. I gotta go see that thing.
Well,
can you imagine driving this down the road? Of course you do.
I have, yes.
It's got to be awesome, man.
I probably have a 35, 40 miles per hour, and it's the scariest thing you've ever thought.
Shakes all over.
Well, actually, believe it or not, it steers great, and it drives great straight. It's just turning's not real good, but it's that big glass window and no seat belts that worry me.
Oh yeah. You know, and Ed Roth was the first one that really did this, if I'm not mistaken. They couldn't afford the big blowers. You know, the engine was worth more than the car. So what they do, there's a carburetor inside there. This is all fake.
No kidding.
This is all Mad Max. You know, flip the switch and the blower comes on. You know, and that just, you know, it just sits there. But it has the look. You know, the carburetor sits inside and it runs. And Roth did that on a bunch of his cars.
No kidding.
Just now, okay, we just came from probably a $250,000 car, at least, that truck.
Right.
Now look at the crowd.
Yeah.
Look what's standing around here. That car, people were walking by that thing. And it's because this, to me, you know, this is hot rodding. This is fun.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that people go, well, we watch your shows because they're happy, they're fun, you're having a good time. It's like, this is what started all that. Yeah. This is Speed Racer. This is that thing.
We're here with Kermit and Nancy from West Virginia. Kermit, tell me a little bit about your car.
It's a 1935 Dodge, built 22 years ago. It's got 90,000 miles on it since I built it. It was a courtesy car at a motel in Golly Bridge, West Virginia, which was kind of a house of ill repute.
Tell me a little bit about what you've done to it to make it a little bit customized.
Got a small block Chevy motor. It's got a Mustang front end. Of course, the collar's been changed. It's got 40 Chevy headlights, 39 Ford taillights, 53 Packard gas door. I put a drivetrain in it, wired it, put a suspension under it, drove it for years with the original collar on it.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
So it still looked pretty good.
It was decent. Yeah, it was a good car.
Yeah.
It was a 43,000 mile car when I bought it.
And a lot of times I'm in this car and I think, if this car could talk, I bet we could hear some good stories.
Well, one of the unusual things about the Street Rod Nationals, the greatest show in the world, is the fact that with the new 30-year participation rule is a wide diversity of cars that are showing up. And a good example is this here 1951 Mercedes Cabriolet B. Black on black, beautiful, beautiful detail, body lines and everything. And pretty soon we're going to show you a couple more cars, and everybody is really appreciating all this diversity. The show is still made up of thousands and thousands of street rods, but sprinkling in these cars that nobody has seen before, and they're all built like street rods. Exceptional detail and quality is what's really expanded the show.
All right, well, right now we're here with Hot Rod Liz. Liz Kitzel, all the way here from Canada, Lady Street Rodder. Tell us a little bit about your adventure getting here, all the way from Canada.
Bit of a long ride, about 4,500 miles. I kind of went the long way this time. We started off on our girls' tour, so we were heading west to Saskatchewan. We went to Qu'Appelle Valley. We took in the Hot Rod Hijinks event, the Rod Run. We got long distance, which is a big honor. From there, we went over to Washington to a show in there and had a wonderful time. We had some interesting places. We normally camp, and we had some interesting places where we ended up staying. We stayed in a candle shop. This lady offered us we were looking for a campground, and it was getting dark, and the weather was getting blistery, kind of rainy, and her candle shop was right across the street from the motel that was booked up that we were trying to get into, and she said, come on, stay in our candle shop. So we did. At one place, this lady met us at this little cafe, and she said, well, you know what? I've got a place you can stay for free. And she took us over to this little motel, but I call it the Bates Motel. It wasn't seriously very comfortable, but it was air conditioned and it was a free place to stay. And from there we went to Saskatoon. We took in Super Run, which is Canada's largest Western rod run, about 600 or 700 cars. Had a wonderful time. Stayed with friends, and the other two girls I was traveling with on our lipstick run headed home from there, and I headed to St. Louis to come to the Nationals.
The lipstick run.
Girls Only Hot Rod Tour. Gotta like it. Lots of fun.
That is amazing. Well, that sounds like quite an adventure. Tell me, what is it like being a lady street rodder, not being one of the guys? Do you feel like the ladies have their own club, or tell us a little bit about that?
You feel you're treated, I gotta say, you're treated really special. The guys love what we do. They encourage us, and a lot of them we get to know just by face, or they know our cars when we pull into the Nationals. Many years, all three of us come here with all three of our cars, and they all know us and are on the lookout for us, because we like to meet everybody and walk around, have lots of fun, and take in all the events here. It couldn't be better. A female and man sport is incredible.
Well, you have had quite a journey. Now we're gonna hop in, and you're gonna tell us a little bit about your street rod.
Sure, I'd love to.
Okay, so Liz, what kind of car is this exactly?
It's a 23 Ford Model T. It's called a TBucket.
TBucket. What color is this? I know is it just purple or?
PPG Wineberry, they call it. It's PPG paint. It really lasts and lasts and lasts. It lasts me a long time. It was put on at 95, and it's still idiot-proof for me.
Well, it's a beautiful, beautiful car. So, what about the engine? Give us a little bit of detail on that.
It's a stock Chevy 305 engine, Nothing fancy done to it, same original cam, nothing souped up, just all the chrome is hanging out all over the place, and some nice Sanderson headers added in there, and some chrome touch-up stuff, and that's about it. Stock Chevy I can break down in Timbuktu, and there's always parts for me. Like that a lot.
Right, you know your stuff.
I have to.
That's right. All right, so now what makes your ride stand out over anybody else's here at the NSRA?
Oh, that's a tough one. I think the only thing that would make it stand out is the people hanging out all over it, because I pile it full of people, we cruise and we have so much fun and laugh and giggles, and that's all. It's no special than any other car here.
Well, it sure is beautiful. And you know what? I'm thinking I would really like to join the Lady Street Rodders Club. How about I take it for a spin?
Oh, that'd be great. Why don't we get you behind the wheel and you can have a taste of what it feels like to drive a street rod? Can we do that?
I thought you would never ask. What is it that you personally love about the Street Rod Nationals?
Oh, it's the people. Hands down. The people, the cars bring you to the event, but the people bring you back.
One of the good things about coming to this event is you always run into somebody who you would never know wasn't from here until they speak. I'm here with Peter. Where are you from, Peter?
I'm from Melbourne in Australia.
Australia? So what brings you here to Louisville, Kentucky?
Cars, and Liz and Mike and all my friends.
The people and the cars.
It's a social event, isn't it?
It is, and it's a fun one too, right?
It's the best fun you can have vertical.
How many of these events have you been to?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe dozen and a half.
Dozen and a half here in Louisville, Kentucky?
Yep, in Louisville.
How long have you been into cars?
How old do you reckon I am?
I have no idea.
I've been involved in it that long.
Wow, so you love cars all your life.
My mother said the first word that came out of my mouth was car. So no dada mama for me, car.
Do you have a favorite?
My favourite is the 1933 Ford, and my next favourite is something you're probably not going to see here. I also have a 1955 Holden, which is kind of like a small version of a late 40s Chevy, but about 2/3 the size. Made by General Motors in Australia, and it's uniquely Australian.
Yeah, how did you get here? Did you drive your car over?
I wish. No, we can't always drive our cars over. It's pretty expensive to ship a car over, and it takes a fair bit of time as well. So we all get in a very big aeroplane. This one was an A380. Good smooth flight, sleep all night, into Los Angeles, flew to St. Louis, and then cruised in with the guys from St. Louis.
Now you're here in Louisville, Kentucky.
And now I'm here in Louisville, Kentucky.
Yeah, I like the way you said that. You sounded American.
You see, I've been here long enough to know it's not Louisville, it's Louisville.
Exactly. Thank you. Thank you. Street Rod Nationals truly has something for everyone. There's the street rods, of course, the swap meet, family fun, games, food, and even women's world.
Plus, there's the ladies' tea, you got the super prize program, you got the Sunday service, and much more.
Much more.
I'm here with Robert from Trix Builders. And Robert, tell me about your truck here.
Well, it's running a 96 LT1 Corvette motor, 700R overdrive transmission, Corey 9-inch rear end. It's a Ferrari Fly Yellow, which is real bright.
It's bright.
M&M Upholstery did my interior. I painted the metal where it matched the red, lipstick red, and we drive it everywhere.
Do you?
I've been showing it since 2003, and we have a lot of fun with it. If you can't drive it, I wouldn't have it.
Well, I'll tell you, it certainly caught our eye, and I'm glad I had my shades on.
The thing that works with this truck that I try to do when I build a car for somebody is you have to build a theme. And you don't want to get away from your theme.
All right.
The theme on this is high-tech, old school.
All right.
So you still got the dash, looks pretty much stock. You got the door handles. You don't shade the door handles. And it's not any one particular thing. It's an accumulation of everything where it just makes it work. You got a teardrop shape on the exhaust, teardrop on the taillights, and teardrop on the French antenna. Okay. Now, that might not be noticeable, but it makes them all coincide.
Right. It's like architectural design.
Yeah.
All right, now you were telling me this is your friend's first big show.
Well, this is actually a son of a guy I used to work with, James, and this is his first big show he's been to. He's been coming by my shop since 2003, and he's seen a lot of stuff go from nothing to something. When we pulled in, I said, man, you're just not going to believe this.
No.
You know, the cars, the number of cars, the stuff, the people, you know.
It's one experience.
Oh,
yeah. So what do you think so far?
It's like dying and going to heaven. It's great. Best thing ever. I love it.
Put your hands together for me. We'll be shouting the fields of glory. I just pray today for all of our troops that are in harm's way. Father, we just lift them up to you. Father, just bring them safely home. We're not too bashful to tell everybody what a great time we have out here with the cars. And what a great time we have doing what we love to do. And none of it compares to what Jesus has in store for each and every one. Got the whole family.
Okay, we're out in under 29 with Emily Jones. Emily, you are a longtime participant out here. In fact, I think, how old were you when we first met?
16. I was one of the old ones when it used to be under 21, and then they changed it to 29 below. So
you stayed in the program since?
14 years.
For 14 years,
yes.
and the same truck.
Same truck, yes.
Of course, I will say, not that it looked bad back then, but well, okay, it looks great now.
Yeah. Thanks.
It needed a little bit of work the first time we saw it.
Yes, a lot of work, and we've done several years, about 4 years to build it, and then so now I've been driving ever since.
And what did you have spray painted on it when you?
I had Sweet 16, and then the next year I had under construction, and then I didn't. I came and I was able to drive my parents' truck for 2 of them because we're 2 years, so we were trying to get it done, and then it was show quality. Yeah.
It looks beautiful.
And I keep doing little things as it comes, you know. That's what I want to add to it.
Yeah.
Past couple of years, I've put the headlight covers on it. I've got new rims on it, new tires, new steering wheel. radio, and of course power steering.
Wow,
I got power steering. I didn't have power steering all the way up to this year, and I finally got power steering.
That helps a lot.
Yes. It's nice.
Very nice.
I had to save my money to get it because I was tired of turning. So.
And you drive this a lot.
I drive it a lot. Yes.
Now, what
so
do you,
around town and.
Now you teach.
Yes, I'm a school teacher.
Now what do your kids think about your truck?
Oh, they think it's awesome. I'll drive her once in a while, and they're like, "Oh, Miss Jones is driving the truck. That is awesome. It's going to be a good day." And they like to come out and look at it, and I've taken their pictures in front of it before, and sent it home with them, with the kids, so they really enjoy it because they know I drive it to school a lot, and they're like, "Miss Jones is driving her truck. It's going to be a good day."
It's a good day.
So
it's a good truck day.
Yes, exactly.
We're out at the under 29 with Mike and Morgan and Mike's 53 Chevy. Mike, tell me a little about your truck here.
It's a straight six, 3-speed with a granny gear. Just a little pug around truck, really. It's a purple, house of colors, with a little bit of gunmetal gray in it. Pin stripping we did. Rogers Body Shop did it. Everything inside of it, just all bare as you can get. Just drive around, pug around in it. Just good all-around truck, really.
Yeah. Now, how long have you had it?
About 2 years now.
Now, Morgan, what do you like most about the truck?
I really do like the colors, actually, and it really does ride smooth. But I'm new to all this, so I don't know much.
It's a cool event, is it not?
It is. I've never been until now.
This is our first year.
It's my first year coming.
Awesome. So, as a first-timer, what do you think?
I really like it, and I want to keep coming back. I love seeing all the old cars.
It's a cool show.
It's very interesting.
Once a year, we gather out here at the Street Rod Nationals to make a selection for the individual states, for the safety picks and the rep picks for individual states to represent their division here to receive an award on Sunday. All of our reps across the country and our safety reps go out in their area and look for a car that will represent their state. Truly a fine car. And obviously, we're looking for cars that have passed the 23 and have the additional 4 items that on our safety sheets. And these cars are gathered here to represent their state. And our guys will go out, we'll switch up, and this process takes us about 2 or 3 hours to get through this. And these cars are coming in, as you can see now, where it's early in the morning. That's why they're out here so early. They'll touch up their car, clean it up, and get it ready for our guys to go through and make a selection and ask questions. We're interested in the fact of not just how great the car is, but how invested the husband and wife or the son or daughter is in street rodding today. We're looking for the true street rodder here. We're looking at our next vehicle here, which is a 39 Ford convertible. And you're from where?
Menominee Falls, Wisconsin.
Have you had this car a long time?
14 years.
14 years. Did you build the car yourself?
Yep, 14-year project. Yes, I did. I did all except the bodywork, paint, and interior that I had done by a professional DMC van conversions in Wisconsin.
Looks like you've kept with the kind of a stock resto theme here.
I kept the dashboard pretty much all original, and I used the original openings, and I just put some late model gauges in, and just did all the spun work myself, and yeah, we did everything ourselves.
It's important to get a theme and then stay with that theme. It looks like you've done that really nicely.
The construction at the top, it's original Ford folder, the original irons, and then I modified them and lowered them and recontoured them to make it flatter, to make it look more like a Carson top, but it still is an actual folding top. And then on the rear of the top, I put a valance over the back window to make it look like more of, it's got a Packard look, and the back window is a 48 Studebaker convertible.
Well, that's a nice touch. Yeah, got the little bar, yeah. You know, not enough people realize, to tell you the truth, and I see this, you know, been in safety for years, following lots of street rods down the highway.
Yeah.
The new LEDs that they're selling today are a must. I mean, why have a car somebody rear end you when you could have LED taillights today?
I agree 150%. You got to have the back end lit up on your hot rod.
You know, now I know that we're looking at either a 409 or a 348, and it has to do with the location of the dipstick. You're going to straighten this out right now.
Yeah, well, you'd be thinking this was a 348 because the dipstick's over here, but it's really a 440 cubic inch 348.
I see.
So we've been stroked.
Oh, so we've done a little modification here.
Yeah, we did. I custom made that intake manifold. That's a 2.4 intake manifold because they don't make 3 2s for a 409. So I had to custom make the intake, make a plate, and put 3 500 CFM carburetors on it. And it works like a champ. It drives like a million. We got 18 miles to the gallon coming here.
Looks really good. You've done a fine job.
All right, well, we have a lot of fun lined up here today, the Street Rod Nationals, and right now I'm here with a couple of the guests we told you a little bit about earlier. We've got Tim Strange with Search and Restore. We also have Tommy Bosiers with the Muscle Car TV. How are you guys doing today?
Good, how are you?
Well, I'm great. How are you?
Oh, I'm great.
Tim, tell me, what got you into cars in the first place?
Well, like most kids, my dad had hot rods, so then I just followed his path. He had motorcycles when I was younger. Then he got into Tri-5 Chevy, so I just grew up around it. So I learned how to paint when I was 5 years old, or actually 8 years old. I painted this firewall on a 55 Chevy and just progressed from there and been running my own hot rod shop called Strange Motion for 18 years.
So, Tommy, now we're here with you. Tell us a little bit about what got you into cars.
Well, it's similar to his story. From way back in the day, being a little kid, my dad always had hot rods of some sort. Well, as you grow older, you start building the cool little model cars and stuff, and said one day, I'm going to build some cool cars. So next thing you know, boom, you're building cool cars. And I lucked up and got a job on a TV show, so now I get to talk about cool cars and build cool cars all at the same time. So it's a win-win. Plus, you get to meet some awesome people.
I see you giving the eye to Tim over here.
Actually, I was looking at you, not him. So we just kind of got out here and started looking around a little bit, and some of them are still rolling in, but there is some very nice stuff out here this morning.
You seem to really like this car. What is it about this, Tim, that you like?
It's a small block Chevy with a really cool stack fuel injection. It looks like an old Kinsler or Hilborn fuel injection. Then it's got all electronic stuff instead of the old mechanical stuff from Inglesi, so it's really modern and dependable, so you don't have to mess with the mechanical pumps anymore. I like the bright colors. I know Tommy's not a big fan of bright colors, but I think it's cool. You got this awesome modern street machine.
Right, how about you?
Getting him to talk first pretty much says the same thing for me too, because it's a lot of the stuff that goes to these cars all began with these style cars. So they all cross over going back and forth with them. So.
All right, guys, thank you very much. Okay, we found another beautiful car over here, a little black beauty right here. What is it that you guys like about this car so much?
I like it because everything's just well done, nice and tight, neat lines. It still looks like a Mustang, but it still looks in the same instance as a newer car. Got that modern feel to it. Appreciate that kind of work.
All right, how about you, Tim?
Same as what Tommy said, but I like all the little custom touches. The grill, the tight tuck bumpers, the back end, everything's all flush and really cool looking. And all the little brackets and mounting stuff and hardware is just, it really went above and beyond on this. It's really cool.
Well, we actually have the builder right here, Dustin. Hi, how are you?
Doing good.
Great. So how long did it take you to do this? Tell us a little bit about the car. It's beautiful.
Well, we started on about 2 years ago, and we've been working on it at our shop, Classic Restorations.
So what is it about this car that makes it stand out, makes it the most unique here?
Well, there's a lot of subtle changes. It doesn't really jump out at you. We've done quite a bit of body mods to it. There's no pop metal left on the car. Everything's fabricated out of steel. Very smooth lines and just different. You know, nobody usually does a convertible, so.
It's beautiful. All right, well, I'm here with Eric, who owns this beautiful car. Eric, tell us a little bit about this car.
Well, this is a 1962 Rambler, American two-door sedan. Picked it up from original owner about 6 years ago.
All right, so tell me, what kind of changes did you make? What did you do with this?
Well, basically, this car is all about stance. The body is basically stock. We came up with the idea of putting a Hemi motor in it, and then the Chrysler theme kind of came from there. So we kind of, Matt came up with the idea of the shaker hood. I said, yeah, that's cool, let's do that. And then we just kind of set it up with the wheels and tires and built the car around the motor and the wheels and tires.
Well, it's a beautiful car. And we have a couple of our guests still here with us. We've got Tim and Tommy. Give us a little personal opinion on this car. What do you think, Tommy?
Well, his statement of saying we built the car around the motor and all, that's an understatement. Because if you look at the engine compartment, there's not a whole lot of room left in it. So that's well said.
I think it's cool because I ran my own hot rod shop for 18 years, so I've kind of had a thing that I've built weird body styles like DeSotos and Buicks that a lot of people don't do. So I love Ramblers, so I think it's really cool that he did it. And the cool thing about this guy, he's a designer that people hire him. A lot of these high-end cars out here was designed by this guy. He puts it on paper, but this is his personal car. That's why it's kind of got that cool artist touch to it. That's really neat.
You like his high opinion of you, don't you?
Pretty cool, huh?
That's pretty nice. We have a beautiful car. All right, thank you very much. We're walking by, they automatically stop at this vehicle. What made you guys stop right here to look at this?
We kind of had to because this thing is exactly what tradition is. That's a hot rod. Well, it's got a few of the modern conveniences like AC and all on it, but that's where it all started. That is the hot rod to have.
How about you, Tim?
I like it because, everybody loves 32s. And this one's got a Lincoln power plant in it, a little bit of old school, real traditional. It's got the bi-sply tires on it, no fenders. And I've known this guy, actually, his builds. I've followed him since I was a little kid, and he builds all these traditional hot rods, and he drives them. He hardly ever trailers them, so that's the cool part about this car.
Right, and this guy that you know, Jerry, standing right over here to my right, tell me a little bit about this car.
Well, this car was a pretty rough car to begin with, and I had to replace everything on it, floors, all the patch panels, the whole 9 yards. It's a 392 stroker motor. It's 475 horse. It's got an automatic overdrive transmission in it, 370 posi Curry rear under it. And this is a real rare piece is the Lincoln emblem.
Very well, thank you for sharing your
Well,
car with us.
My pleasure.
We're glad that you took the time to build it. We're glad.
Thank you.
So I'm standing over here with Buck Wilson. He's got this beautiful car that's behind us. Buck, tell us a little bit about this car.
Well, it's a 40 Mercury. This old car used to be a drag car back in the 60s. It's got 427 heads, 3 deuces, 5-speed, positive track rear end and everything. Its color is root beer.
Root beer.
Candy root beer I mixed myself. Did all the work myself. One thing I didn't do is shoot the car.
Okay.
And chop the top 7 inches in the back, 3.5 in the front. Channel it down over the frame 7 inches. Just did a hell of a lot of work.
Yeah. Well, it's a beautiful car. You did a great job with all that work. Tim, why did you come over? What stood out about this car to you?
Well, me and Tommy both like lead sleds and customs severely. And, we're here at the Street Rod Nationals. There's a lot of modern hot rods or street machines. So we just came over here like bees to honey, man. And it's just, we love, I love the Merc hardtops that are chopped, and it's just a beautiful, it's got the full skirts, all the custom stuff. It's just really neat.
Really neat. How about you, Tommy?
Yeah, this is exactly why I like this show. It's got everything here, whether it's traditional hot rods, street machines, or customs. One-stop shop.
We found our good friend Brad Starks, and he's got a new project here. So tell us about your project.
Well, today we brought a 33 Chevy two-door sedan. It's been chopped. It's on an Outlaw chassis, all independent, air ride, air conditioning. It's got all the bells and whistles. So
it's really cool when you look at all the different build styles out here, and if you start looking at all the details on this, it's got a really cool paint scheme, and it even tied a little color in on the brake calipers. So he definitely knows his details.
when we first took the project, the car was already leaning towards white, had some white pieces on it that somebody else had painted, and the owner was kind of liking the white, so we decided to try to pick some other colors that were a little different, but at the same time still looked good with the white and accent it. So we added some airbrushing in the accent stripe. A lot of people don't realize it's a Chevrolet, so we put Chevrolet in it. So, and then to also add the color in the calipers, like Tim said, to just bring out some more of the orange and tie everything together.
Yeah, you got to make sure when you build one of these cars that everything complements everything.
Exactly.
And it makes it look like it belongs instead of just...
Pick a theme and go with it all the way through, from start to finish, inside out and upside down. So.
I think we're done here.
Signing out.
Ain't good day.
If you want to see what some of the best builders in the business are doing, you've got to check out the Builder Showcase here in the exhibit hall lobbies. For example, right behind me, this beautiful 63 Corvette.
We're here at the Builder Showcase with Cecil Taylor with this 1934 Woody that Cecil and the Hercules Car Company built. Cecil, tell me a little bit about this Woody. This is beautiful.
Thank you. This nice surf wagon belongs to a very good friend of mine in Louisville, Kentucky, Greg and Gail Wilson. They bought their first car from me about 7 or 8 years ago, and they messed around and sold it. So he come to me a couple of years ago and said, "Man, I sold my car, I want another one." So I told him, "I'm gonna give you my last 34 Woody 2-door that I'm gonna build. I still build 4 doors. So we built it for him last year. He come up with all this color and the surfboard and the white walls. That's all his doing, which I think he did a really classy job of it.
Oh, it's beautiful.
But he really has fun with it, and he lives right here in Louisville, so it makes it an easy run for him. We have to call him all the way from Tampa, you know.
Right.
But it was a fun job. We really enjoyed it.
So tell me a little bit more. You mentioned a couple of the details. What are some of the other things that you did to make it a little different?
Well, of course, you know Hercules been around for almost 40 years, so we stamped the metal cowlings. We do the chassis. It's a TCI chassis, but we do all the woodwork right in-house. And then we put all the fenders on for Greg. We fitted the hood. We got the whole car together, and then Greg said, "I'd like to paint it myself," so he brought it up here to Louisville, and he had some of his friends paint it, and some of his other friends upholster it, and he got all the car together and had it ready here for the Carl Casper show. So this is the second event it's been to.
Well, that's beautiful.
Thank you.
We're here at the Builder Showcase with Chris Sandals with Woody's Hot Rods. Beautiful 69 Camaro.
Thank you.
Chris, tell me about this car.
Well, this was a project we started about 2 years ago for a fellow named Mark Clark, and the whole idea started around the motor. The motor is an all-aluminum 427 that GM re-released a couple of years back, and he bought a couple of them and called and said, "Hey, I bought this motor. Let's build a car around it." And to me, the only car a aluminum 427 should go in is a 69 Camaro. Yeah, that was the original car they were put in, was the COPO Camaros of that day. It's got an all-aluminum front end. The fenders, the hood, the whole front end weighs 85 pounds on this car. The motor's all aluminum. The transmission's a 6-speed. It has a full Art Morrison Max G chassis under it with a C5 Corvette front end. The car's been channeled 2 inches, 2 7/8 over the chassis to get it down to the ground. Yeah. And then, the little touches from front to back that it just kind of mix today's technology and the whole pro touring thing with, the true muscle cars of yesterday.
Yeah.
A lot of thought went into some of the details that most people never pick up on. It's no different than any of the other builders. We spend a lot of time, drawing things out that most people would never know, but we know they're there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we really appreciate it. And this is our 3rd or 4th year of being in the Builder Showcase, and this is one of the highlights of our year every year.
We're here with Koki and Janet Black of Dixie Dream Rods at the Builder Showcase. Janet, tell me about your build here. Tell me about your 57 Chevy.
Okay, the owner lives in Rome, Georgia, and he's owned the car for probably about 30 or 35 years. He just paid like $200 for the car. He's had it in storage, and he brought it to us. It was all original, and that was the initial plan, was to go back all original. But then it changed as time went on. So it's got a new crate engine, 350 Chevrolet, 385 horsepower. It's got a turbo transmission and 350 turbo transmission. The paint is PPG with the color's fire red. And the interior's done by Steve Holcomb in Knoxville, Tennessee. Mm-hmm. And it's a beautiful car.
It is a beautiful car. We're here with Gary Hatfield with Hatfield Restorations. Gary, tell me a little bit about your 35.
This 1935 Ford pickup was built by Gene Winfield, the custom car builder from California, in 1960 to advertise his shop, Winfield's Custom Shop. He sold it in '63 through Hot Rod Magazine for $1,875, and a gentleman bought it and took it to Oregon, where it disappeared in 1965. We did a complete restoration on it, and as Gene Winfield is still alive at 84, he saw it, said it was never that nice when he had it. You can see the custom work he did. The bumpers, the grille, the headlights were hand-built, the side exhaust, even the hubcaps he built were custom. The rear fenders are off of a 1940 Chevrolet pickup that he adapted, except for the bottom one at the back. The exhaust runs into the bottom one down at the back side.
Okay.
The top has been chopped 3.5 inches. It's got a custom wood liner in the bottom of the bed. 48 Mercury flathead, all Offenhauser equipment, just as he had built it back in 1961.
Okay, so that is what he had in it originally?
Yes, we put it back just exactly. We've done a lot of research in putting this thing back exactly the way it's supposed to be in. This is one of Gene Winfield's trademarks, the fade paint. This is where it actually started along. And as he carried it all the way and still does the fade paint.
Well, now, I imagine trying to do, or actually not trying, but achieving that exact match of what was built, that was a bit of a challenge, wasn't it?
It was. We found all the original paint. He changed it over the period of 3 years that he was showing it. He changed the engine to a Chevy engine. He put a set of T-Bird wire wheels on it, and he even painted it blue, which that's the way it was when we found it. But all the original gold paint was up underneath the blue, which we matched.
It's beautiful.
Thank you.
I love it.
Thank you.
We're here at the Builder Showcase with Joey Shortino. Joey, this is a beautiful Rolls Royce. Tell us a little bit about the story about this car.
It's a 1922 Rolls Royce. It was manufactured in America in Springfield, Massachusetts when Rolls Royce set their plant up here. I got it about 6 years ago from a Rolls Royce dealer there in Tampa. Kind of had a plan, kind of had a picture of the car, what we wanted to do. I sent it to my good friend here, Cecil Taylor. He owns Hercules Motor Cars in Tampa. World famous builder, multiple cars here being shown, and we put our heads together, and we knew it was going to be an unbelievably big task to get here. Be with all these other cars, it's really something. It's something special, and he's the one that really put it together.
And I was with Joey when we originally bought the body, and we talked about it, and I said, this would make a great car. But this has been the longest 6 years of my life, especially the last 90 days. So it's like, when we met Cecil, he just made our dream come true.
Well, Cecil, tell me a little bit about the build.
Well, like Joey said, he just had a body, and he decided we wanted to build a car, so we had to come up with a game plan. He decided he wanted to keep it all Rolls instead of having a small block Chevy. So he has a 413 cubic inch 88 V8 engine in it. He has a quick change rear end. We had to fabricate the hood, the running boards, the splash aprons. You'll find that the dash is all fabricated, the instrument panel, the luggage rack. A lot of the things on the car was specifically made for the car. Just like the air conditioning vents, if you look real close, you'll see they're made out of wood instead of metal or plastic. They're actually little wood vents.
I'm sure they look good.
Oh, I think they look pretty cool.
I'm sure they do. Now, you had some help with the car.
Oh, yeah. Kevin here, he did a beautiful paint job. We've witnessed about 4 guys coming up and combing their hair in the paint job.
I got the opportunity. Joey came down to see me. We worked out a deal to get it painted, and it was wonderful. It's been a tough project. It was difficult, 2 parts of it, but time given, we got it done. So
it's beautiful. It's definitely an eye catcher as you walk past it. There's no doubt about that. We're here at the Builder Showcase with Larry Shope from Rod Crafters. Larry, tell me a little bit about this vehicle, and I know we've got the owner with us.
Right, it's a 1948 Anglia, and we built it for Don Konechny in Kansas. Our shop is actually in Welcome, North Carolina, and it's been a good build and a good friendship that's developed through the build. The car is Dale Jerry built the chassis, and we did the bodywork and paint, and then Don has done a lot of the work himself too. So it's been a combined effort, but we've enjoyed the build and the friendship that's ensued.
Well, it looks beautiful. Don, tell me some of the details in the car that you wanted and that you had put in it.
Well, what we tried to do was to hold the all-steel stock body, even the soft top, since the car hadn't been damaged in the 60s or 70s as a race car. And we kept the stock steel with fenders. Larry widened the fenders out so we could put a little bigger tires under it. Dale did a good job building the front end narrow enough so we could hold the tires under the front end of the car. But we used a period correct 327 engine with Hillborn stacks that was converted to EFI, and just a lot of stuff that would have been used back in those days with some upgrades. The old Halibrandt wheels and that kind of stuff there. So
now, have you always liked the Anglia?
You know, I fell in love with those Anglias back in '67 or '68 when I was still in high school. and we'd go to the racetrack and watch those cars run. And so once I got out of high school into the 70s, and I just bought every one I could find.
No kidding.
And I've owned this car since 1977.
As with these little Anglias, there's not much room in them, so we wrap the transmission tunnel and the firewall as close to the engine as possible. And I think Don even has to get out of the car to change his mind. So,
well, you
pretty close.
It might be a little tight for a tall guy.
It is. It is a little tight for a tall guy.
I'm sure it's a good ride. We're out next to Mopar Country with Ed Davis. And Ed, this is your buddy's car. It's a 32 Chrysler. Tell us a little bit about this.
Well, it's a 32 Chrysler Coupe. Most people think it's a Model A until they see the split windshield. And it's the only year that Chrysler did the split windshield. It used to be a twin cowl car, and those have been filled in. It's a 383 Mopar motor, but it has a very rare 413 cross ram. They only made them for 2 years. And it's got the zoomies on it. It's automatic. The guy drives it. I mean, it's been around. They've had it to New York. Drove it down to Evansville. It's a challenge because it's only got an 8-gallon tank and he gets 7 miles a gallon. But
that would be a challenge.
But the cross ram's very unique to the car. You only see a few of them. It's just a car that the guy enjoys a lot. And for years, it was labeled around Indiana as the Indiana Kid, kind of a takeoff of the California Kid. And he had it repainted 3 years ago, did the flames, and took that off, kind of give it a little different look.
Nice. You mentioned that this is very rare. I'll say we've been coming to this show for a long time, and I don't recall seeing that.
Well, there's one other car here at Mopar Country that's got the cross ram, but you don't see them. You see them every once in a while on the internet. But it just makes the open, the high boy with the carburetors on either side out there. It gives it a unique look.
Yes, it
and gets a lot of attention when he fires it up. And for years he ran it with side pipes on it. He's had this car about 10 years, I think, 10, 12 years. He didn't build it, but he bought it from a guy, Dennis Geating, in Garrett, Indiana, that built the car. But he put the zoomies on a couple years ago, kind of get a different look, a little bit of hot rod. But anywhere he goes, you just rev it once and you got people looking. You want to hear it run?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
yeah, we want to hear it run.
Go here, just
Mopar Country with Lee Trout and his 34 Plymouth. Lee, tell us a little bit about your car here.
It's a 1933 Plymouth.
33 Plymouth, pardon me.
4-door sedan, black in color, leather interior, 350 Chevrolet, the 460 LE overdrive. There wasn't enough room. I had to put a rack on the back of it. The interior wasn't done. It still had the stock interior. Took it out, and it still had a lot of stock effects. And I wanted I just wanted to upgrade the suspension a little better, and you know, make it where I could drive it on the road. Put air conditioning on it. Put radio, power windows.
Had to modernize it a little bit.
Had to bring it up so the wife, you know, she will ride inside now. And had to have a 4-door car for my children. I still got kids at home, so we like to get out and enjoy old cars and car shows.
So you pile the kids in the back and go?
Yes, pile the kids in the back, and the wife stands on the running board. She has to.
Now, you have some bungee cords for her just in case?
Mm-hmm. No, she just hangs on.
She's strong. She's got a good grip.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
We like coming back to Kentucky. You know, we like it. The people are friendly here, and very nice people here every day. I mean, everybody's up here. Of course, they let the newer cars in.
You know, the interesting thing that we've we've seen is that the late models that are here look great.
Yeah, they look nice.
Man,
they look nice.
yeah.
And I got Mustangs myself too.
Yeah.
As long as it's a Ford, I gotta have a Ford now.
Look, 68 was my first car.
Yeah,
A 68 Mustang. Yeah.
So we're the old timers. I'm 68 this year, so I'm getting old. So, but we gotta let the newer blood come in.
Bob, you don't look a day over 67.
Well, thank you very much. You know.
Okay, so we've got Tom and Terry here. Tom, tell us why we stopped over here at this car.
Well, now we've taken this whole diversity of cars that are showing up, and we've just taken it over the edge. This is one of the most fabulous cars that I've ever seen myself personally, and I love it. It's a Delahaye, and it's built by Deco Rides. If the owner here, Terry Cook.
All right, Terry, thank you for letting us see your car. First, please explain to me the party hat. What's going on?
What party hat?
You know, that one.
I woke up and it was there. I was born with it.
You're ready to celebrate this beautiful car, right?
Yeah, it is, and a beautiful event.
It is.
Yeah.
It is a great time. So tell us a little bit about your beautiful car.
Well, basically, it's a car that Chip Foose designed for me years and years and years ago, the basic boat tail body, and then I've taken and done variations of it since then. And this one, it was built by Gary Brown from Brown's Metal Mods in Indianapolis, who's a fabulous young up-and-coming builder. And it has little pontoons on all four wheels. The front ones steer with the steering wheel. The headlights turn and the front wheels turn. And it's just my latest toy.
That is absolutely amazing. Can you tell us a little bit like how the interior is and the engine?
The interior is fine. It's tuck and roll, black tuck and roll by Mike Griffey from Muncie, Indiana. The engine is kind of unusual. It's a small block Ford with Ferrari valve covers on it, so that when you look at it, it looks like a Ferrari, but we call it a Ford Rari.
The Ford Rari. I like it. That's enough reason to celebrate right there. Well, you have a beautiful car.
Well, you're not too bad yourself.
Oh, well, thank you. Okay, one of the very unique things I've seen on this car is the mirror and the visors. Now tell us a little bit about why they're like this.
It's just the way the Germans designed the visors. It's like just a plexiglass, like a pair of sunglasses.
Oh.
You can actually see through them instead of having a blind spot. The mirror telescopes up so you can see out the rear of the car, and it telescopes down so you can see out when the top's down.
Very neat.
There was only 990-something these cars made. And it's got a 350 Chevy motor, 700 R4 transmission, 9-inch Ford rear, air ride suspension, Alpine stereo, new custom interior.
I think one thing that makes this car stand out is when you go around and you look at the details, the trim work, the Art Deco design, and some of the luxuries they had in it, which you can maybe do, that really sets the car apart.
This car, this truck that you like?
Well, we were just showing you a beautiful 1951 Mercedes, and now we're switching over to a 1955 Chevrolet pickup built in the style of the 60s show cars. And the unique thing about the build is it was built by a 28-year-old who owns a company called Star Custom Shop.
Tell us all about it. We want to know all about this beautiful truck.
Okay, well, it started off, I'm into the late 50s, early 60s show rods and custom cars. So I wanted something that represented that time era, but just kind of blended it with like some modern techniques and such. So we started off up front, and in my realm of what I'm into, like the 46, 47 Oldsmobile grills are really popular, but I didn't want to use stock because that's just not cool.
Just can't do that.
Can't do that. So we made a grill. It's a custom grill in the vein of the Oldsmobile. Made the whole front pan down here and used the 59 CAD tail lights. I try to use those as kind of a signature style, but I try to use them in ways that I've never seen them been done before. So we mounted them horizontally, made them the turn signals down on the lower roll pan there. Frenched the headlights using 53 Merc rings. The top, I wanted a chop, but I wanted it to look stock. So I didn't touch any of the B pillars. I didn't touch the A pillars. Chopped it all out of the cap, more to say. I took the cap off, lowered the windshield line down about 2 inches, took an inch off the front of the cap and took an inch out of the back of the cap and slanted the whole cap forward.
Well, it's a beautiful, beautiful car. What, in your opinion, I know you built it, you love it, what is it about this truck that stands out from all the other cars here?
The rear end. It's just totally handmade. It's wild, it's subtle, it's got details that just, when you see it, you'll understand why, because you're not going to see anything like it on the grounds that's even close to it.
So if you need absolutely anything for your street rod, and I do mean anything, the exhibit hall, this right here, is the place you need to be. If you need a part, need a little bit of advice, well, you've come to the right place.
We're over in the exhibit hall with Trent from Competition Cams. Now, Trent, we came by here the other day. You guys had a couple of teams furiously building some motors here. Tell me about what was going on.
That is correct. We've had teams actually competing all week long here at Louisville, here at the Street Rod Nationals. A lot of father-son teams, boyfriend-girlfriend teams. It's been a great experience. Our youngest competitor this week, 12 years old. If that does not show you that our kids at these ages are still into hot rods, I don't know what does.
Talk to me a little bit about Competition Cams.
Competition Cams, I'll tell you what, this is our 35 years of being in business. This is our 35th anniversary. With a lot of these events we've been going to, we've been handing out 35th anniversary posters. It's a one-run deal. A lot of people really like those. Always working on new products, new things going on there. So it's going to be interesting to see what comes out towards SEMA.
Cool, cool.
Here at the swap meet right now. I've got Dan, who comes to the National Street Rod events every year. He's from Wisconsin. Dan, tell us, why do you come here?
Good show, a lot of people, and you know, sales are generally pretty good.
That's right. You're over here at the swap meet. So what do you got over here? What's all the stuff you got?
1955 to 70 Chevrolet and 1956 to 67 Corvette parts, mostly Suntacks and Hurst shifters.
All right. So you have a big love for cars, right? What got you into that?
I've owned cars since I was 14 years old, and I've got about 15 right now.
Oh, wow. You're a collector.
Yep.
That's awesome. So tell me, when it comes to the street rod event, the National Street Rod, what makes it so unique to you? Why do you love it?
It's different from most of the shows I go to. I go to a lot of the Corvette and Chevrolet shows, and this one's more open to everything. And I get a lot of people, that are interested in, the Chevy stuff, whether modifying the car or restoring it.
Awesome. Great. Well, thank you so much.
We have a good time every year. We come out to this. And my first year I've got my car done to actually be able to sit on the fairgrounds, and I go to a lot of the activities. I enjoy it, and I like this one in Knoxville. Of course, I live there, and I go to that one, and I don't know, I just kind of like the old car business. So,
if there was one favorite thing about the Nationals, what would you say? Or
the car giveaway. That would be my most favorite thing. And then just sitting around and talking to other people and finding out, how they fabricated something or how they made something work. And I don't know, that's kind of what I like.
Yeah. Now, did you do a lot of the work yourself on this?
Did a lot of it, but I had to get some professional people, to set up my drivetrain and stuff. But I was there the whole time with them. Actually, I bought the car up here 4 years ago. And took it home and ended up taking it all apart and redoing it, putting it all back together and doing it the way that I liked it. So.
We're here with Jocelyn and Mario, a couple of French Canadians, and welcome to the show. Now, you've been many years.
Oh yeah, maybe that's over the 12 years.
Over 12 years coming. Yeah. And Jocelyn, how many times have you been?
About 7 times here.
7 times here.
Yeah. Usually I came with my car, but this year I make an exception. I came by plane. My friend come with car.
Yeah.
You're here. Now tell me a little bit about your car.
That's okay. That's 41 Dodge, Canadian Dodge. That's modified. That's 6 inches chopped up. We changed the frame. That's a Camaro front, Trans Am on the back. We modify all the body. We modified the trunk too, and we buy for a couple $100 this morning.
Now, what'd you get this morning?
We have a 2 radiator, the I-beam, cooler, transmission, and all different small things.
So you've had a big time over in the exhibit hall.
Yeah.
It's fun to come here because we have the chance to have a lot of parts, and we have the chance to see the new part, and we love to come because the people around here, they are very sympathetic with us.
How long have you been driving this?
That's 29 years.
Oh, 29 years.
Yeah, I bought in 1982.
We're here with Bob Drake. Bob, you guys had a new product winner here this year. Congratulations.
Well, thank you very much.
Tell me a little bit about your body here.
Well, for the last 40 years, we've been making 40 parts, and we decided to make the body here about 2.5 years ago. And we finished this in a little bit over 2 years. We first got the deck lid done about the same time, and we just kept on going, and now we got a body.
And tell me, this is a steel 40.
Yeah, it's all steel, and it's got a complete floor. Everything is interchangeable to Ford, the parts, so you can put Ford components on this, and vice versa.
Well, it's funny. One of the street scene guys we were with the other day, we were walking past this, and Tom says, This is a knockout. This is a killer.
This is going to be a good thing for us.
Exactly.
And good thing for the industry. I think there's only two icons, and that's a 32 Roadster, which is being built by the Brookville people, and a 40 Ford Coupe. So I'm really pleased with this, and it can go either a standard version or a deluxe version by changing the grille. And the only component that we really have left is the hood, and we're going to make two hoods, standard and the deluxe hood, and the header, the headliner bowls. We got to finish those yet.
Right. Well, congrats again.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank
I
you.
really appreciate you, coming on over and you talking to me, and buy a 40.
Buy a 40. The team from Classic Instruments, another new product winner. Guys, congratulations. And Devin, I understand you're the new product guy. So tell me a little bit about your new product winner.
Well, it's a new GPS speedometer antenna that completely eliminates all the muss and fuss of calibrating with your standard transmission senders or a computer signal. It's a one-time calibration deal. Hook it up. It uses the satellites way up in space to operate your electronic speedometer. So
who was kind of the brains behind that?
It was us. We partnered with another company, and we have done all the marketing and all the work to get it out here to hot rod enthusiasts, and so far so good. So.
Great. Congrats again. Just tell me a little bit about the feedback you've gotten on it so far.
It's been great. A lot of guys are liking it. Everybody's moving to the late model stuff, and it's tough to find a transmission signal to operate your speedometer. So with the new SkyDrive, it completely eliminates all that.
Perfect. So. Easier for the guy who's building.
Yep. Of course.
Perfect. Guys, thank you. Devin?
Thank you.
Congrats. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Good job, team. You guys did a double dose this year.
We did.
Your new product won 2 awards.
We did.
Tell me about that.
Well, the product is, we call it Super View mirrors, and we developed and driving this car last year. We were down in LA for the Street Rod Magazine photo shoot. And I'm cruising the LA freeways, at 6 lanes of traffic, bumper to bumper, 80 miles an hour. I can't see anything. This car has an electric hardtop, so with the top up, it's nothing but blind spots. So Brian Brennan said, hey, it's going to be a couple weeks before they can do the photo shoot. We flew home, prototyped the mirror, flew back, bolted them onto the car, drove around. All of a sudden, I could see across 3 lanes of traffic both ways, no blind spot. Needless to say, we won Best New Product of the Year with that, and just this weekend, hundreds of street rodders have been by our booth and all have the same problem with the blind spots. They've been real happy with the product. Many folks have actually installed the product right here at the show, and they're going to drive home with new mirrors.
Which is both, one, there's certainly a cool factor, but like you said, it's a safety factor.
Absolutely, absolutely. Countless times did I hear these guys tell me, hey, my passenger side mirror I can't see anything out of. I cut someone off just on the trip here, and it's been an issue, well, pretty much forever. But we're street rodders. We like to put up with stuff. We want horsepower, and we need decent tires and decent brakes. After that, everything's optional. Most of us don't have mirrors and no wipers. So, but we're all getting a little older too. And now it's time to be able to see.
Yeah.
And, Fatty's Super View mirrors, it really does.
Say this was my first year. great experience. I really like this event. The vendor midway is a huge vendor midway. I'd recommend anybody coming to this show. It's a great show. And the car count. I've never seen so many street rods in my life.
Beautiful.
Absolutely. Street rods, muscle cars, with them opening up the years.
Yeah.
Spread it across all the years. You get all the different genres. Yeah. It's a great event.
We were over yesterday. The Camaro Club had probably 30 60s Camaros over there.
That's correct.
Sweet.
Absolutely. I even saw a car club out there. They brought their trailer into the show, had an outside AC unit hooked up with a generator, and they were air conditioning their 10 by 20 tent.
That'd be the Chicago Mob.
That is correct.
Yeah.
You saw those
We
guys.
know the monsters.
I'll tell you what, they had it figured out.
Those guys know how to. They know how to do it right.
That is correct.
Everybody wants a 40.
All right, well, there's always a lot of excitement here on Saturdays in Freedom Hall because someone is about to drive away in a brand new street rod.
Street Rod Association, the entire crew of Tucci Hot Rods, and the 36 major component contributors on this year's car present to you this 1933 American Speed Roadster. I will ask our chaplain, Jim Rowlett, to please draw a number. Okay, here we go. Entry number 9,478. Come on down.
So what is your name?
Bill Barney.
Bill, and you just won. You just won your very own brand new street rod. How are you feeling right now?
I'm lost for words. I don't know. It'll sink in soon, I guess, but right now.
Oh, now we're here with the car that you brought. What kind of car is this?
This is a 34 Ford.
And now you've got the brand new. Tell us what it is.
33 Roadster.
I know you were so excited. We don't know what to do. We don't know what to say.
I don't.
We're excited.
Woo!
All right. Way to go, buddy. Buddy, we did it. All right, Abe. He won it. He won it. Oh, dude. All right, how do you stop the shakes? I don't know. I'm not even sure I can get. We'll wait on you, buddy. We'll be back. This is my neighbor right here. All right.
So, what do you think?
I think I'm going to love it.
What do you like most about it so far?
It's mine.
That's always the best. It's yours.
Oh, yeah, it's mine. God, this is gorgeous. Want to go for a ride?
We're here with Rusty Holcomb of Page Customs, and you guys are building the 2012 giveaway car.
That's correct.
Tell me a little bit about the car, Rusty.
Well, we're doing a 32 Ford Hot Boy Street Rod is what it is. It's a Bebop's body. We got ASC frame rails on it already, and got it as a roller. We were able to get it here. We want to complete it and have it ready to debut in Knoxville, Tennessee at the NSRA show there.
Beautiful. Now, I see the diagram, the comp you've built. Is that going to be pretty true to the color?
Pretty much, yeah. Well, we do have a color panel right on the sketchboard there, and that's pretty close to what the color is actually going to be. We're going to use the wheat color that we already have on the wheels as the accent and trim colors. Going with a small block Chevy, which some people are okay with, some people hate it in a Ford, but we're building a period car, a late 50s, early 60s what a street rodder would have really been able to have built with what he had available. And that little 265 and 283 small block Chevy were hot back then. Everybody wanted them. Everybody wanted to hot rod those motors. So
Now tell me a little bit about Page Customs.
Well, Page Customs is owned by a gentleman named Larry Page. He's basically car dealer is his main line of business, and I've worked for him for nearly 30 years as his service director and one of his operations directors. And started out as a hobby. A group of guys in the shop. We did it. The first car we restored was his '63 Corvette convertible that he had when he was a teenager, and he still has the car. But as the years had taken a toll on it, it was looking bad. Well, what better place to do it than in a dealership where you've got a body shop, you've got everything you need right there. And then after that, we just started doing it for fun, a group of guys, and he had some projects he wanted to do, and one thing led to another, and then we started winning some major awards, and next thing we knew, we were in business.
Next thing you know, you're building lots of cars.
We're building lots of cars, that's right, building lots of
and
cars.
they're looking good. We looked at some of these
Thank
cars.
you.
Beautiful.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
A great group of NSRA members volunteer to make it happen, and we want to thank each and every single one. Now let's go see a few in action.
We stood out in the parking lots till 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning kicking tires. It is great to have you here, and sincerely thank each and every one of you.
We're here at the Made 'em All party that Connie helps organize, and Connie, we love seeing you guys every year. Just tell me a little bit about the Made 'em All group here.
Okay, well, we had 25 of us that have made them all. This past December, we lost a gentleman from California who originally lived in Michigan, Dave Licari. We will truly miss him. But we all just get together here today. A lot of us see each other during the year, but basically today's our day. Everybody gets a dash plaque, a button, and an emblem or a little plaque to put on their car that says, and there's only 25 of these that are given out, and that says 42 years of being here.
All 42.
All 42. And we'll just keep coming as long as the good Lord lets us and the creek don't rise.
There you go. Thank you, Connie. Appreciate that.
It's a labor of love. It truly is. And,
Yes, it is.
And you two boys make us come back.
Well, thank you. It's always good to see you.
It's obviously the biggest street rod event in the world, and this is the 42nd year, and I happen to be a lifetime member of the National Street Rod Association, member number 43. Want to show me somebody with a lower number other than whose last name isn't Walker, who's got a lifetime membership card that is lower than 43. So I'm a big supporter of NSRA. They do a fabulous job, and God bless them. God bless this event.
It's another reason to celebrate.
Great hobby, great business, keeps a lot of people employed.
I've been hanging around these shows since 1972, so I'm kind of a veteran at the Street Rod Nationals, and it's been a wonderful organization. I think I said yesterday I appreciate their integrity. They run a first-class show. They always have everything prepared. I've never been anywhere that stuff wasn't ready, you know, and everything's adequately. I feel 100% safe here with my family. I mean, it's a good family event, and I'm happy for them that they're on, I think, year 42, something like that. So
42nd annual.
Yep. I'm proud of all the guys, and I think that if everybody's having fun, they need to, when they see an NSRA guy walking by, you need to go up and say, hey, man, I'm having a great time. I appreciate what you do for us.
It's the highlight of the last day. It's the Circle of Winners, and you don't want to miss it. the Circle of Winners with Paul and Sally Benoit, and tell us a little bit. I know you've got a lender car here.
Yes.
But congratulations to you guys, and tell me a little bit about the car. And I know you had quite an adventure getting here over the past month. So,
well, I was getting the 35 ready last week, and fire broke out in the garage. The garage burned to the ground. All 4 cars, all my tools, all my equipment, and everybody showed up. And a friend of ours loaned us this station wagon, and we're here.
And here you are. And not many people have a parking place on the floor.
No.
So that's fantastic. And the good thing is, Paul, you're looking good.
Thank you.
You look great. And
I've had better days.
Well, we're just glad you're here.
Thank you.
We're just glad you're here.
We've never missed a Nationals, so we know we had to get out here. And it was coming without the 35 because that's been to everyone too.
Yeah.
But we'll be back next year with it.
That's right.
Yep.
Time to build another, or
That's
rebuild.
Right. Rebuild. It's going to be a rebuild. It'll be back on the road.
Well, Paul, we're glad you're here too, Sally.
Yeah. Love working the show. Being the Connecticut State Rep, I get to work the booth and meet everybody. We help out O'Brien truckers all the time. We travel with them. We work with them. We've known them since Tulsa, '73. So we've been all over the place with many street riders, and only see them here, and it's good to get together with them when they get here.
Well, I can tell you there's not a more supportive couple than the two of you guys to the organization, and we're just thrilled with the troubles you had that you could make it. Paul, you look good. We're at the Circle of Winners with Mark Jasperson in his 48 Chevy Coupe. Mark, tell us about your Circle of Winners winner here.
Well, I started when I was in 8th grade. I bought it and worked on it for 5 or 6 years. A lot of help from family and friends, and it's been on the road for a couple of years now, and I do drive it a lot as much as I can. I like to enjoy it. I stripped it all down, did a frame off, put a Mustang 2 front end in it, Chevy 10-bolt rear end. I did all the brake lines, most of the welding, had help putting the front end in and getting all that lined up. I did most of the body work, had a lot of help, from some friends of ours, Jack Liberto and his son Steve Liberto, on body work and metal work. And then we painted it. Steve helped me paint it in my garage at home, and this is it.
Pretty good paint job for a garage done. That looks good.
Thank you. Yeah, I spent a lot of time, doing body work and, getting it straight.
Yeah.
I went to my first Nationals when I was 2 months old. I was in Columbus in 1987, and I was kind of born into street riding with my parents, and that's how I got into it. My dad's been into it forever and got me into it.
Well, it's got to be a proud day for him.
It is, yeah, it is.
We're here with Dick Stevens, the Circle of Winners, with his 56 Chevy. Dick, congratulations, and tell me about your car here.
Thanks a lot. It's a 1956 Chevrolet convertible. It's on a Art Morrison frame. It has pretty much a one-of-a-kind motor in it. It's a 32-valve Hemi head small block Chevrolet, 406 cubic inch. Steve Holcomb from Knoxville, Tennessee did the upholstery and the top on it, and I think he did an outstanding job. But it's just been a real neat project for us, about a year and a half in the works, and we've been just tickled to death with it.
Well, it looks beautiful. Obviously, we're not the only ones who think so.
Thank you, thank you. We're really happy to be here.
What are some of the favorite features that you might have added during the build?
Well, of course, the whole frame and chassis has been changed. We have a Gearstar transmission in it, which was built to stand the incredible horsepower this motor makes. Joe Lunati built this motor several years ago. The motor was built originally to prove how much horsepower you could make on pumped gasoline, and they ran it with two different carburetor configurations. With one 4-barrel it made 670 horsepower, with two it made 900, so we had to get a transmission built, which Gearstar did for us, to hold the horsepower. It has Thunderbird seats in it, wheel wood brakes on it. It's everything about the car is pretty much custom.
It's a lot of horses.
A lot of horses.
So when you hit the gas, what's it do?
Just what you want it to. It'll burn them off.
Anything you want it to.
It'll do it. Anything you're big enough for. Including kill you.
Yeah. That's great. We're here in the Circle of Winners with Butch and Donna Downs and their 34 Hutmobile. Donna, I heard you a few moments ago talking about this. I thought, well, now you are not shy.
No, I'm not.
No. Tell me about your car then.
Well, it's one of a kind. There were 1,006 of these made, and we can't find any other survivor of this year and model. When it was new, it cost $995. So we had spent a lot of money trying to make the Hutt brothers real proud. Cost a little more than $995.
Yeah.
But this is my husband, Butch, and he built the car for me. I wanted a convertible. We have a 32 Hutmobile two-door Vicky, which he claims. And I wanted a convertible, so that's what he did for me. And I'm very, very proud of him.
Talk to me a little bit about the build.
Well, the car was in pretty good shape. It was, it's a 75-year-old car, but the prime best thing that happened about this car, it was all there. And that the parts are unavailable because it's such a rare car, and like I say, it is our best our knowledge, the only survivor. But like the front bumper was the only thing that I didn't have, and I did find a rear bumper and cut it down and made the front bumper for it. But otherwise, all the rest of the parts were there on the car, so I was able to redo the car and keep all of the, what I feel is a deco look and the bright work in that, and redo everything to bring the class of the car back to life.
Well, it's beautiful.
Thank you.
And I'm sure it looks even better when you're in it.
I hope so.
It does. She makes it look really
exactly.
good.
I mean, I'm just so proud of him. It's so nice to be recognized, but the best part for me is his hard work being recognized.
Yeah. I'm here in the Circle of Winners with Dan Calvano and his 65 Dodge Coronet. Tell me a little bit about your winner here.
This is a 1965 Dodge Coronet 440. Originally, I bought one brand new in 1965, and in around 1975, as close as we remember, was totaled. Somebody rear-ended us, or my wife, and I always wanted another one, so we finally found one and built it and made the exactly same color, except for we got a 6.1 Hemi in it. And we've got 3 generations that are worked on this car. My son, Nick Calvano, tool and die maker, is a good car builder. And then my grandson, Dominic Calvano, who's 17, helped us tear it apart and put it back together. So my wife also does interior work and stuff for us and works on the car. It's got a Rally Motorsports front end on it, which is like a Mustang front end on it. We got rid of the torsion bars. And then I put a 6.1 Hemi in it with a RFE 545 transmission, which is actually a 5-speed overdrive transmission, truck transmission that we put in there. We probably get around 22 miles to the gallon. If we drive about 70, 75, we drive nice, we can get 24 out of it. Yeah. You know, so that was one of the features of the car. And some of the other features, my son is a tool and die maker, Nick Calvano, which would be my son. He built the dash. He's a tool and die maker, and the dash is all made out of aluminum. If you look at the car, you would know the design of the original, it was all plastic, and they're very hard to restore and do stuff with, and with the modern gauges and stuff you need for this motor. So we built that dash for the car, and that was one of the outstanding features also. Yeah, the car was built in 4 months. I think it was 4 months. We completely took every part of this car apart and put it back together, and then got it back on the road. So
it's a pretty quick build.
Yes, it is. And
you guys were focused.
Yeah, we definitely are focused. We built a few cars, so we enjoy our cars. We've been doing it since 1970 and been all over the United States, so we just love our cars.
We're in the Circle of Winners with Tommy Manor and his 25 Dodge. Tommy, tell me about your car here.
Well, I bought the car in Charlotte, North Carolina at a car show. It was a 4-door sedan. I decided to make a hot rod out of it, cut 16 inches right out of the middle, turned it into a 2-door sedan, which also meant cutting the front and making the front wider. Then I split the fenders all the way down from front to back and added 4 inches. Put a 5.77 Hemi with a blower, crane cam, MSD ignition, General Motors, Dodge motor, General Motors transmission, Ford rear end. Typical hot rod, just think it up and make it.
I think it'll get up pretty good then.
Yeah, it'll get out of the way, yeah. The top is carbon fiber, which is a little bit different for a hot rod. And it's just a work of imagination and perseverance.
Well, it's 1937 DeSoto, and it was originally a hill climb car at Newport, and I purchased it. My wife bought it for Christmas for me 5 years ago.
It's quite a Christmas present.
Was a pretty nice Christmas present.
Yeah, it was.
And then I took it apart and created this with what I started with, and it's got a 1954 six-cylinder Spitfire Chrysler in it with dual carbs and headers, and I've adapted it for air conditioning and put a T5 transmission in it with a 1952 job-rated truck bell housing and a Chevrolet rear end, and lowered the bumpers and most of the original chromes on the car. I've changed the headlights and moved those down, and moved the latches and reproportioned the thing, and made the trunk so it was handicap accessible. And lost my wife in January, but this was for us to travel in.
So you do a lot of the work yourself?
Oh yes. Yes, I've got room for 17 cars in my garage, and I have 4 lifts, and I'm out there when I'm not working at my regular job. I'm out there most all the time.
We're here in the Circle of Winners with Gary Feenstra. You won one of the PPG awards. Now, Gary, tell me a little bit about your car here.
Well, the award was for outstanding use of colors using PPG paint. It's a 39 Ford two-door sedan, coast-to-coast body. It's a fiberglass car. Took 3 years and 3 months to build. It's got an LS2 engine in it with a 4L60E trans and a 356 posi rear.
And the paint job is beautiful. Tell me about the paint job.
The paint job is it's our own mixture of paint. It's got a yellow base in it. It's got emerald and amber chips in it, and it's got pearl all mixed together.
So it's got some depth to it.
Yep, it's got some pearl mixed to it. And Ryan's Custom Shop is the one that painted it. Chuck Hanna did the interior, and it's got a leather interior. And this is its debut show. It's the first time out of the chute, so we're going pretty good.
Yeah.
Doing good.
How are you going to get any better than that?
That's right.
Yeah. Well, it is, Gary, it's beautiful.
Thank you.
I love it. Circle of Winners with Ed and Eddie Rieger. Congratulations, guys. We got a winner here at the Circle of Winners. Tell me a little bit about your truck here.
It's a 1940 Chevrolet panel truck, old Gordon potato chip truck. We've had it about 25 years. Sat in storage about 20 years in the last 5 years. My father and I started in on it and finally got it finished about a year ago. This is our first year at Nationals with it. It's been done about a year, almost a year. and we're fortunate enough to win an award.
I was gonna say you can't get any better than the first year out. You're starting to win it.
And knowing that him and I did all the work except the paint and some of the interior is nice also. We used a stock frame, boxed it in, welded up every hole. The frame's just as smooth as the outside. Stainless steel brake lines, Mustang 2, Fat Man front end under it. A Lincoln 9-inch disc brake rear end, power steering, power brakes, locks.
It's got all
insulated good, power seats, dolphin gauges. We enjoyed it. We've got almost 6,000 miles on it already.
You've been running it pretty good.
Been running it hard, and plan on putting another 6 on it pretty soon.
Pretty soon. Oh,
yeah.
Good. Thanks again for joining us for the 42nd Annual Street Rod Nationals.
Yeah, we've had a blast, and we hope to see you again next year.
On aime beaucoup le Grand National à Louisville, Kentucky. Merci de nous recevoir.
I'm sorry, you need some outtake material? Huh? No hablo francés.
Okay.
No.
No comprende.
No comprende francés.
Je parle pas français. In French.
That too?
Yeah.
Yes. Would you like me to talk in my Bugs Bunny voice? Is that working? Okay. Or I could try Daffy Duck. Not very good voice today.
All right there. So, yeah, tell me, what brings you to the Street Rod Nationals?
Oh boy, nothing like having a camera in your face. Sweet ride. Yeah.
Some of the best cars in the... Now I've already forgotten what I was going to say.
Is it going to clash with his pink dress?
It might clash with the pink dress. I can't help it.
I'm relaxed.
You have a skull and crossbones.